We have a border crisis, Iran crisis, crime crisis, education crisis, economic crisis, and it all begins and ends with Joe bumbling Biden. Joe Biden's cucked strategy in the Middle East has now gotten Americans officially killed. We're going to talk about it. Then we have people like Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and The View's Sunny Hostin shilling for anti-American interests. We're sick of it, and we're going to talk about that and more next. Hello. It is Wednesday, and it's time for Pop and Politics. We are live talking about the latest in hot topics, news, and entertainment. I'm KJ. We're a two-man crew tonight. It's me and Crystal.
I know.
Yes. So a couple of the girls are sick. Shelly is, right, it is that time of year. Shelly's out. T's out, Yana's out, but they will be back next week. But do not worry. We have the fire. We have so much for you guys tonight, so much to talk about. It's infuriating, but we're going to break it all down for you guys, the latest and trending hot topics and news.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. You guys know you can listen to us, find us on here, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And subscribe, especially subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on Twitter, our Instagram handles. You can also find us on our website at www.popandpoliticslive.com for up-to-date information. Not only can you watch us, but you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. We're also on Rumble, so you can check us out in all these places. We're trying to build a community here of patriots, of America-loving people, yes, of people that are fired up and tired of this leftist agenda. So subscribe. Again, we are a necessary voice in news and entertainment. All right, we're going to get right into it, Crystal.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's set it off. Yes, absolutely. All right, so we're starting off tonight with the outrageous comments that Congresswoman Ilhan Omar made that came out this week. Take a look at this. This is clip number 1.
jawaabteedu waxay ahayd dawladda Mareykanka waxay ka qabanaysaa wixii annaga aan dhahno dawladda Mareykanka ka qabo. waa kalsoonidaas inaan isku qabno annaga Soomaali hadii aan nahay wadankan annaga ku nool wadankii aan annaga tax ka dhiibno waaye waa wadankii gabar idinka dhalatayne ee Congress ka fadhiso intii aniga aan Congress joogo wadanka Soomaaliya biyaheeda dad kaleeta iyo badeeda dad kale ma qaadanayaan wadanka Mareykankana kuma taageerayo dad kaleeta in annaga ayna dhacaan marka taas ka seexda reer Minnesota gabadhii Congress u dirsateen way idinka war haysaa sidaad idinka u dareemaysiin dantaas ay u dareemeen.
Wow.
Oh, that makes me so mad.
Yeah. It should make all Americans upset, angry, and mad because number one, we don't see this type of fiery response. We don't see this type of talk when we're talking about the border, our border.
Exactly.
We don't see it.
And then, like, the audacity of this woman who got the privilege, because it is a privilege to come to the United States of America. And then I think she married her brother to get, like, citizenship, and then comes into the United States Congress and then fight for the interest of Somalians. Like, seriously. And honestly, we should take so offense to it. Yes, the border is a bigger issue. But for me, like her being a brown-skinned woman, like I really wish people talk like that when it came to our schools, to our communities, our neighborhoods. Our children are dying every single day. Like our kids, white kids, are dying from fentanyl. Like we have our issues here, and you're sitting up there in our community and our Congress fighting for Somalia. She needs to be like thrown out immediately.
Of course she does. She says she's a daughter of Somalia. She currently has dual citizenship, I believe. So she's rightfully saying that. We can see here that she's clearly advocating for Somalia, another country, not the United States. It's sickening.
Yeah, and where are we vetting our Congress people? I mean, like right now, Congress is a freaking joke, okay? Like no one respects Congress at this point because of people like her. Like you come and you are fighting for Somalia, and then the language. Did you catch the language? Yeah. They will do what we say do. Who the F are you?
Right. Well, we have here Majority Whip Tom Emner sent a letter today to the House Ethics Committee requesting an investigation into Ilhan Omar. She is the Democratic Congresswoman from Minnesota or Somalia over a recent viral speech that she made in Somalia, in which she allegedly claimed to be working in Somalia's interest in Congress. That's what we just saw.
Yeah.
Emmer said he believes the translated remarks made last week violate House rules, specifically Clause 1 of Rule 7, I believe, which says a member of the House shall behave at all times in a manner that shall reflect credibility on the House.
Yes.
This is according to the New York Post.
Yeah, and honestly, like the United States, God bless America. I love this place. It's my home. And I sometimes get frustrated with us because nowhere on the planet would allow this. Nope. Like, what? Like, she could not go over to Somalia and say, Somalians, we going to go over there and we going to take over. We going to make sure we have stuff with the border.
Right. Like she couldn't talk about the U.S. there.
No.
Or any other country.
No other country she would be allowed to do this. Like she would be beheaded in some of her Muslim countries, and then she comes over here. It's like they say, like, you're taking our kindness for weakness, yo. Like, serious, and it's not cool.
Yeah, it's not. And not only that, but you see that how she's so just flagrant and boldly saying this. You know, Shelly said earlier today, we posted this video that we're being invaded and from within. From within our own borders, we have someone within Congress acting this way. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Take a look at this. This is clip number 2. Here she is again.
In caawa aan fursad u helay madaxweynaheena madaxweynaha Soomaaliya madaxweyne Xasan Sheikh Maxamuud inaan maanta ku soo dhaweyno Minneapolis. Aniga iyo madaxweynaha special relationship aan qabnaa. Aniga adeeraan ugu wacaa asigana gabarteeyo idhahaa. madaxweyne sidii qof kasta uu yiri mininkaaga waaye ku soo dhawow Minneapolis. aad iyo aad aan ugu faraxsanahay in maanta madaxweynaheena aad tahay.
This melting pot thing is getting on my nerves, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't know. Where my real people at? Like, this melting pot, it ain't working. Because these people are coming in here and you don't want to be a part of this great American thing. You coming over here, you speaking whatever. No, and then look at where she's at. Right? In Minneapolis. That place has a lot of problems.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? We're allowing people that didn't build it. Like, you didn't build nothing, shorty. And you over there destroying it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And ready to come over here and destroy. Let me tell you, this is crazy. This is crazy. And she needs to be removed. She needs
to be punched in the face.
Oh, well. But she needs to be removed. And this is just a needle on top of a large haystack. I mean, she's been pushing Marxism here.
Yes.
You know, her and the squad. We're going to talk about Cori Bush a little bit later. But I mean, they all have been so destructive, and the things that they push and continue to advocate for are destroying our communities. Now, we talked about her and the squad before, and we get pushback from, certain hecklers in our comments that say, oh, you guys are always bashing Black women. Well, let me tell you something. If a Black woman is out here and she is not pushing for America. I'm an American.
Yes.
I don't care what color you are. She's been saying these off-color comments, and I do not agree with her politics. Her politics are detrimental to Black and brown communities.
Exactly.
So I don't care what she looks like.
Exactly. And the fact that we're allowed, seriously, we should be so frustrated at this point because she is coming over here and making the place worse. Yeah. The way that immigration works, Miss Omar, is that we take the best of the best from other countries and we bring them here. And then we make this place better. But you're coming and you're stripping down, you're blessed with such the privilege to be, seriously, we should take offense to it, especially Black and brown people. She is sitting up there fighting for the interests of another country while our communities are destroyed.
Right. Exactly. We will continue to follow this story. Speaking of illegal immigrant, speaking of immigration, we're moving on to illegal immigration. And please pay close attention to that word, illegal immigration. We're not talking about legal immigration. We love and welcome legal immigrants that want to come here to the United States and assimilate and protect our and go along with our rules and laws. We love that. But next we're talking about illegal immigration. And I want to start this topic off with what Sunny Hostin from The View said. This is clip number 3. Take a look.
It's hard. You're cute and submissive. It's hard. I am a man repellent. It's hard. Because all I do is go to gay events and drag shows and
Anything to make a buck, save a buck. Anything to make a buck.
It's hard.
Those that aren't, the Republicans that want to be obstreperous want it because they don't want a Biden win.
Right.
They don't want Biden to be as successful and his administration to be as successful as it can and as it has been. The thing that I really think people need to understand about immigration, it's not a crisis. It's something that has been an issue in our country from the very beginning. In fact, during the Bush administration and right after, he said his biggest regret was not being able to do more on immigration. Bush said that. Then Obama comes along and really is the only president in my lifetime that has done something. He did DACA, right? He got that Dreamers Act passed. That was a key legislation passed by the Democrats. And the other part about immigration is it's not the problem that Republicans say it is. They say that immigrants run up crime. That is not true, and it hasn't been true for 140 years by a Stanford study. They say that immigrants take jobs away from Americans.
So first of all, we're not talking about immigrants, legal immigrants, and she knows it. She's trying to twist the words. She's trying to play games. She's trying to be twisty and tricky. Yeah. We're not talking about legal immigrants. We are talking about illegal immigrants, and yes, we have a crisis of great proportion. Look at this. Last week, she's talking about President Biden touting an imminent border deal with Senate Republicans. And I quote, he says, "It would give me, as president," he wrote in a statement, "a new emergency authority to shut down the border when it becomes overwhelmed. And if given that authority, I would use it the day I signed the bill into law." He's referring to a provision in the deal that reportedly would compel him to use a Title 42-like authority to stop illegal immigrants after average daily crossings reach 5,000 over a period of 7 days, or 85,000 in a day. And we're way over that right now.
Yeah.
We're way over that. And that's actually a lot. That's actually a lot.
Yeah, and
He's using an excuse. He's making an excuse.
And I just want to be clear about, President 45, Donald J. Trump. He did not say that he doesn't want to deal. They're like making it about him because they just live. Like, where's Evie with the honey?
Yes,
Evie, we need her with the honey. He was very clear when he said a bad border deal is worse than no border deal.
Right.
So he's not saying that he doesn't want a border deal, but what they are trying to do is push through all this junk and this mess, push through money for wars, foreign wars, push through all kinds of foolishness in order to get the border closed. When in fact the Supreme Court already said that he has complete control over the border. So he can close the border if he wants to. He can fix this situation. And like you said, illegal immigration. I love my mother is an immigrant.
Okay.
I would not be here if it was not for the privilege of immigration in this country. So like you said, we're not talking about immigration. That is one of the things that makes this place beautiful.
Right.
But when you have, I think the number now is like 16 million people.
It's crazy.
It's insane. Like, there's no way that we can maintain.
It's a crisis. With not only a crisis of illegals coming over the border, we have a crisis of human trafficking.
Yes.
We have a crisis of abuse, fentanyl, all this coming in from the border. And Biden inherited a border that was under control via humane and lawful policies that had been put in place by the Trump administration. Trump took control of it.
Yeah, and he didn't have to. I mean, he was building the wall, but he didn't really have to because they weren't coming. Why they didn't come? Because you had to remain in Mexico.
Right.
Nobody wanted to remain in Mexico, so he had it under control. Fact of the matter is Barack Obama actually deported way more people than President Trump ever had to.
Absolutely.
And that's the strong man that we need.
Yeah, we do. And we don't need this president who continues to make excuse after excuse of what he can't do.
Yeah.
Same thing, and we're going to talk about this a little later, about the 3 soldiers that were killed in Jordan. Once again, he's talking about what he cannot do. This is a weak, cucked man.
Yeah,
we need to get him out of office. Trump took immediate control. And what did Biden do on day one of his presidency? He took away all of the policies and the executive orders that Trump had put in place to protect our border.
Yeah.
He tore them all down and spent years cynically and dishonestly blaming the resulting chaos on the Trump administration. It is a lie.
Yeah.
And anyone with sense should be able to see this. And Sunny Hostin knows this, and she's lying and miscommunicating and misinforming the information.
Yeah, for sure. And I just kind of don't understand like the whole switcheroo. Like, are you guys watching the way the media is like trying to turn it around and be like, oh, Republicans want open borders? Like, what? It's the same thing. Like, oh, Republicans are not patriots. You remember they did that like last year and the year before. Oh, y'all are not like, they're taking every single talking point and being manipulative and trying to turn it around on us. And you guys, we have to be smart. We have to be courageous. We cannot allow them to do what they did to us in 2020. Like, we cannot. Yeah. This is the election year that they're making it. Like, I actually heard Morning Joe say Republicans want open borders. No. And I'm like, what the heck?
No. They know it's not true. They're trying to twist it to try to take up for Biden. Let me tell you something. And you guys know, and the ladies on here know, I was a DeSantis supporter.
Yeah.
I voted for Trump when he ran, but in this election, I was a DeSantis supporter.
You don't like the drama.
Right. But I'm saying this to say, I'm not one of these only Trump people. Mm-hmm. I'm not the type of person that's not going to call out Trump for things that I disagreed with him about. We're truth seekers.
Yeah.
We're honest on here.
Yeah.
But this, nobody can say Trump was not strong on the border.
Yeah.
And the way they're doing this Senate deal, it's not even about protecting the border. It's about expanding the administrative protocols to allow more people to come in
and get work permits. Right. You got like work permits and all the benefits and the resources that poor Americans need. And who are most effective? Who are the most poor in this country? It's Black Americans.
Right.
And for you guys to kind of not even be saying anything, like you should take it personally. Like you should be so mad, and instead they got you focused on stupid stuff like racism or like the whatever the
gender ideology,
and your lives are being replaced.
Right.
We used to be the largest minority. We no longer are, you guys. And what that means for us is what little power. I know you said, oh, Black people don't have any power structure or whatever. Like now, what little we had is completely eviscerated.
Yeah, it is. And not only that, but then you have this lying woman, and for you all who say, oh, we only talk about Black women. Well, Black women need to start telling the truth. You have this lying Corinne Jean-Pierre get up on the pulpit every day and just lie. Biden and the administration has all the power they need to shut down our border. They can stop this, and they refuse to. And now they're blaming it on this Senate bill, and the Senate bill is not going to stop this border influx. Now they just want more money to process these illegal immigrants and bring them in. That's what they want to do.
And I don't think that they want a deal at all. Honestly, I don't think that they want a border deal at all. They just know that this is the hot topic, and Biden is getting crushed on it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, people are, like, losing their minds. But what they do know, and they bank on every single time, is that people are just not well-versed into politics.
No.
And so they're able to tell you whatever they can lie to you and tell you, oh, yeah, we're working on the border. And they're not. They don't care. They don't care at all about closing this border, you guys. Like, they do not care. And you have to know that when 1 week it says Biden has control over the border, and then the very next week they say Republicans won't let us do a border deal, you have to know, that's a lie.
Right, it is a lie. And not only that, but the way that they're doing this is so mischievous. What you have, because with this bill, they're asking for money to process these illegal immigrants. We already have an issue with these illegal immigrants going to cities, taking over social services, closing down schools to provide shelter for them. What do you think is going to happen when they process more of them coming in? Yeah. And not only that, but do you know who's coming? This is all tied to the whole Middle Eastern issues that we're having. The people that are coming in here, these Venezuelans, there's a lot of Venezuelans coming in here. It's all connected to China, to Iran. I mean, look this up. It's all connected, and we're putting ourselves in more danger.
Yeah, and a lot of people that are coming from, and I think Sunny Hostin said, people that are escaping communist countries, but they're not coming with wanting to assimilate, you guys. No. We're not getting their best. Y'all don't like when President Trump say that, but it's the absolute truth. I went to Mexico, and we were just kind of talking, and we were speaking to Mexican. They don't want to come here if they are good, they're smart, they have good jobs. You can make a really good, decent life for yourself if you're educated. So what's coming here is not their best. And then they're coming here asking us to take care of them, to provide for them. And then they say, they're taking jobs that Americans won't want. What jobs Americans don't want?
Yeah.
What Americans you know that don't want a job? Like, stop saying stuff that you don't know about.
No, and not only that, you're talking about jobs that Americans don't want. Now these Americans, since Biden has gotten into office, more Americans are working more than one job than ever. You have more people who now have to take a part-time job to keep up with Bidenomics.
Yes, it's so true. I mean,
Yeah.
like people are working 3-4 jobs.
I know so many people now have to get another job.
Yes, a side hustle or something.
Right.
Like, I mean, you can't even afford to live. The apartment, like they're making the apartment costs go up. They're making the food costs go up. They're making everything because it's the supply and demand issue, you guys. And the more people you have, the more demand, and then the supply is low. Like everything is connected to this, and you guys, we're sitting there just taking it up the rear,
And
like just taking it.
And voting for it. You're voting for it. The people that I know that are now working multiple jobs, then they was living in the sun and having a good time under Trump, but talking about him. Under the
Yes.
Trump economy, they didn't have more than one job. Now, these same people having to get 2 and 3 jobs now in order to compensate because Bidenomics is really hammering down on the poor and working class people, middle class people. Now everybody's got to get another job. And let's see who you vote for next in November. Let's see who you vote for this time.
Well-
You not only are you talking about immigrants, you're talking about these illegal immigrants. You know what they're doing? You used to get people that could get jobs with DoorDash or Uber. Now you have these illegal immigrants coming over. They're getting all these free services, phones and things like that, and they're taking these jobs.
Oh yeah, the DoorDash. I think I saw somewhere where like she was like last year she got paid $400 to go from Baltimore to Virginia Beach. They paying $200 to go from Baltimore. Why? Because there's so many people that have entered the industry, and you guys, it is hurting us so bad.
Sure is.
Y'all just quietly go into your voting booth. Like this is the time where we gotta do like white folks. You remember when the white folks didn't like what was going on with the NFL? They didn't say nothing. They wasn't kneeling, they wasn't protesting. They just cut off their TV, and then NFL saw their
bottom line.
their ratings plummet. Black folks, I'm telling you, we need to do just like that. Don't say nothing. When the polls come out, don't say nothing. And you vote your interest and you vote your kids' futures. Seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So we are moving right along. Again, if you are watching and haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Definitely join us. We are a community of truth seekers. We care about, as Crystal said, our families, our kids, our country. And it's all about making sure we hold our elected officials accountable and spread the truth.
Yes.
So subscribe so you get up-to-the-minute content when we post, and we certainly appreciate the support. All right. So we are moving along to a sadder part of the night. The death, the murder of these 3 U.S. soldiers. Yeah. So our Iranian proxy forces have been attacking Americans all over the Middle East, from Iraq to Syria and now Jordan, an ally of ours. U.S. officials reported 3 U.S. service members were killed. At least 34 were injured in an Iran-backed militia drone strike on a base in northeast Jordan, according to the Wall Street Journal. Now, that is a bit of a difference in kind from attacks in Iraq and Syria, because I mentioned Jordan is an ally of ours. So Iraq and Syria are not officially U.S. allies. Jordan is an official American ally. So this would be an attack by an Iranian proxy force into an American allied space on Americans. The strike carried out by a one-way attack drone signals an escalation in fighting in the region. And so this is going on. We've seen like I mentioned, onslaught going on over the past couple of years. And now this. Firstly, we want to say our hearts and prayers go out to the family and loved ones of those 3 reservists who were killed. They were originally from Georgia. So if we have any Georgians watching tonight, you all are in our thoughts and prayers. This is tragic.
Yeah, and then the 2, I mean, like the 2 younger ones, their life was just getting started, and the guy that that died. It breaks my heart when I see any of our soldiers killed. Under the Trump administration, how many soldiers died under the Trump administration?
Ooh,
0.
wow.
People are not talking about that. People are not talking about the fact that we did not lose our servicemen under the Trump administration. And so for us to lose these 3 servicemen in something so tragic, and it's all because of weak administration. This goes back to the whole 13, you know, the
Afghanistan,
13
my
in
God.
Afghanistan. Like they're just sweeping it under the rug. When Corinne Jean-Pierre was asked about it, she couldn't even get it out. Like I was hoping that you would show that clip because she was like, these.
I thought she didn't want to say men. I don't know. I thought maybe it was a situation where she didn't want to gender them.
And then she,
I don't know.
And then she said, "Work so hard for our administration." How dare you? No, they're not working for your administration. They are working for the American people. They are the American military, and they are on the American tax dollar on the dime, just like you, Corinne Jean-Pierre, just like you. And that's what people don't understand, that these people are there to protect the interest of Americans in these other countries that don't want us there.
Nope.
They don't want us there, and they're killing our people.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, they are working for all Americans.
Yes.
Corinne Jean-Pierre is working for the bumbling, idiotic Biden administration.
Yes. And then I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there, KJ. I'm gonna go there. Where is the say her name? Where's the say his name, folks? The BLM. Oh, shout it out. Shout it out. You did it for a crackhead, drugged out man, and then you did it for a drug dealer, Breonna Taylor. You won't even do it for these 3 black service people.
Yeah.
You won't even do that. How dare you? Y'all need to be ashamed of yourself. We need to be calling all of those people. What's the lady name that got the houses in the BLM houses?
Are y'all Chuck Colors?
Yes. Are you entertaining the families? Are you organized? Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe I'm missing it, you guys. Maybe I'm missing it.
Yeah. No, you're not missing it. But today is Wednesday. I don't even know if our resident in chief has even reached out to the families yet. It certainly hasn't been reported, but he was talking to Elmo the puppet yesterday.
Oh my God.
It took him forever to even go down to Palestine, Pennsylvania, when they had the attack of that train attack, where all those people were injured and died. I mean, but you see, Kamala Harris went to Memphis, Tennessee, when those black officers were beaten up. They pick and choose who they will entertain based on if it goes to their base. They don't give a damn about America, about these service people. None of them. They don't care.
Exactly. But my thing is that, to be honest, maybe they wouldn't have even cared about George Floyd, or maybe they wouldn't have cared about Breonna Taylor if the black voice wasn't screaming. Where are y'all? Like, seriously, these are brown servicemen. I don't know what their life was personally, but God, they wore the freaking uniform.
Yeah.
And y'all sitting up here, say his name. Say her name, Breonna Taylor. Say his name, George Floyd, the crackhead that literally, what has he done with his life?
No, nothing. And it's a shame. It is a shame. But then we on here get beaten up because we push back about black and brown people not doing their job, not acting right, not working for Americans. We get pushed back. But you see us here talking about these servicemen who happen to have been black. You don't hear any of these leftists talking about this.
No, they weren't given, because you know what, KJ? Because we are free. Yeah. We are free. Our freedom isn't down by God. So when you get your freedom by God, then you have his marching orders, not the Democrat Party's marching orders, not even the Republican Party's marching orders. You have truth, and truth is freedom. You shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So we don't have to prove anything to anybody. We are able to speak on behalf of our community and just tell the freaking truth, whether you're black, whether you're white.
Absolutely. Once again, I beg you, please take all of this to heart and vote the way of your interest. Please. Do not let the media, the mainstream media, push you into voting for something over a lie, over the misinformation. The facts don't lie. And that's another thing. These people, they don't talk with facts and figures.
No.
They just talk with emotion.
Yeah.
I do want to recognize, before I move on, a super chatter here. Oh, Yogi Fish, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Kenzie 14, I love this show. Best on YouTube. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We just appreciate you guys allowing us. I mean, these are kitchen table topics. And I know that a lot of you guys, if you're like me, some of your family has bullied you into silence, but you have us, okay? This is kind of like therapy for us, because we're with a family of people that get it,
Yep, absolutely. And family, we hope that you are subscribed. You're subscribed. You hit that notification bell so you know every time we post. We have another super chatter. Oh, thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We certainly appreciate it. Certainly do. We are all family here, and we just want the best for everyone. Black, brown, red, purple, female, male, adult to child. We want the best for all Americans. So, and that's what we advocate for here on Pop and Politics.
For sure.
All right. So speaking of that, moving right along to these progressive policies. Now, you guys know we hail from Baltimore, Maryland, city girls here.
Yeah.
Real city girls with class. not
what's
Meg the Stallion and Miami.
But no, even Sunny Hostin says, I'm from Baltimore.
Oh, really?
Girl, bye.
Oh, no, yeah. So we are from the Urbanites. We are city girls from Baltimore City. And we want to talk about these progressive policies that we have been going on. One of these was actually shown in this Law and Order segment here. I'm not sure if you guys saw this. Law and Order SVU, supposed to be advocating for victims, Special Victims Unit. But take a look at this. This is clip number 4. Can you believe that?
No, I cannot.
So Law and Order SVU used to be one of my favorite shows. I mean, it was kind of like I used to watch it. I've watched it for many years.
Yes.
And then, now if there's nothing on TV and I just want to, just veg out and watch something that's familiar, I would turn on Law and Order SVU. Do you see what they're doing? This is Special Victims Unit, where they're supposed to hone in on crimes like rape, abuse of women, domestic violence, things like that. And they're pushing this leftist woke stuff.
Yeah, because she's a white woman. She deserves to get raped.
That's what they're saying.
I mean, seriously, she is saying, I'll be okay. I'll get therapy. But if he goes to jail where he belongs, he may not be okay. Yeah. White women, are y'all okay with this? Seriously, are you okay with your daughters, because they've apparently had so much privilege, somebody just raping them or stealing from them or killing them because these people are oppressed? Are y'all okay with that message?
Yeah. And before you say, oh, it's just a TV show, let me culture.
Yes.
Politics are downstream from culture.
Yes.
And this is just one TV show, but this is what they are pushing in schools.
Yes.
They're pushing this on TV, in music, in the media. Whites, you are privileged. Blacks are oppressed victims. And so you have to go out of your way for restorative justice. And basically, like they said on the show, she felt like she was raped. And instead of her pressing charges, because this is a black man and because he's been wronged all throughout history, then he doesn't deserve jail.
But it's not a TV show. We see it in our everyday life. Me personally, I remember a woman, that I was talking to, and I won't describe our personal relationship, but she actually stopped talking to me because she said that she was on jury duty where these young boys had basically killed somebody. And she felt bad as a white woman, even though she knew that they were guilty. She felt bad sending them to prison because she knows that they haven't had as much privilege as her. going insane? Are we like losing our marbles? Like, where's this stuff seeping into? And so I looked at her and she stopped talking to me. I said, I don't really think you've had as much privilege as we do. And she got so mad. She was like, she was so offended because, like, you not understanding, you even saying that is showing the Black privilege that you can kill somebody. And you have people like these white liberals saying, oh, but I mean, they haven't, you know, they haven't had as much privilege.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, and it reminds me of the book by Jason Riley. What was it? White People Stop Helping Us.
Please stop helping us.
I mean, this is doing more. This is doing more harm than good. I mean, all you have to do is go by the idea of right is right and wrong is wrong.
It's simple. It's simple.
It's simple.
It's so simple.
But what's going on is this type of mentality is creating an environment that begins to fuel perversity, criminality. It fuels these types of types of personalities and characteristics.
Yeah, and it's not like the book said, it's not helping us. It's not challenging us to do better. It's not challenging us to be better, to shoot higher for higher goals. It is literally coddling us, giving us excuses for our poor behavior.
And it's an exploitation of Black people.
Yes.
And until Black Americans realize that, we are going to continue to be lost and our communities will continue to fail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because all these Black people, like you said, with the criminality, who is it against?
Yeah.
Yeah, we showed the white woman, but most of the time it's against us.
Right.
It's against brown skins. Like, we are getting robbed. Right. Our cars are getting stolen. Our kids are getting jumped at school for their backpacks and getting stabbed. That's our communities, you guys.
Right. And not only that, speaking of our communities, I mean, Chicago is doing this. You know, it's the, what do they call it? The bigotry of low expectations, I believe it's
soft bigotry of low expectations.
Right. Chicago, progressive mayor, according to the Daily Mail, Chicago's progressive mayor, Brandon Johnson, announces plans to axe Windy City's high-achieving selective enrollment high schools to boost equity, despite promising not to do this during election campaign. So again, you had schools that were put in place for high-achieving people, right? Yeah, in general, people, and they're getting rid of it because they feel like it's not equitable because some people may not meet these high standards.
It's so crazy. And him being well, first of all, like you saw the whole thing that was happening with him. He was getting anxiety and he was getting anxiety and was hospitalized because of the stuff at the border. Like, he needs to be booted too. Like, sir, we need strong men in office, not men that are going to go and crawl under the bed and check into the hospital when things get hard. Like, we're already in trouble with that. And then when you get out of the hospital, you come with this big eureka, like, oh, how about I just stop all the excellence that's going on with some of the kids in my poor community and let me just
lower these standards.
Like, why are we accepting this?
No. Yeah, it's really sad. It's really sad. And then what it only thing it creates is, you know, because people, whether you Black, brown, red, white, people with money are going to find a way. Yeah. So you can remove all of these challenging courses, all of these courses for Black excellence. That's the Black excellence.
Oh, yeah.
You remove these courses, and then the ones with money are going to move on to where they're providing these courses, and they're going to thrive, and then our communities will continue to fail.
Yeah.
That's all that happens.
You guys, I'm telling you, nobody is caring about the children in our community. You guys, without a focus on our black folks, let me talk to you for a second. Without the focus on your children, our community is cooked, okay? It's dead. It is done. If you are not focusing on your future, forget about it. Every last policy, every last anything put in place, you should be thinking, how is this going to affect my future and my kids' future?
Right. Speaking of policies, another progressive policy right here in Maryland. Can you listen to this. Maryland lawmakers, now the Maryland Congress is delegates, House of Delegates is all liberals. It's only a very small percentage of Republicans. Propose a $300,000 liability insurance requirement for gun owners. So they're actually trying to, they don't like guns. Yeah, they don't want you buying guns, right? So a person may not wear or carry a firearm unless the person has obtained and it covered by liability insurance issued by an insurer authorized to do business in the state under the insurance article. Cover claims for property damage, bodily injury, and death arising from an accident. And it must be up to $300,000 for damages. This is what they're doing. So again, everyday people here in Baltimore City, where the income is lower, they're not going to be able to protect themselves. And the only ones that this is gonna hurt. These Democrats are pushing these policies that hurt Black and brown people, hurt working class people. People with money are gonna go ahead, if they don't already have an insurance policy, they probably do, of $1 million or probably up. And they're going to go get their firearms. And Black and brown people, working class people, will be without protection.
Yeah, because they're not criminals, so they're not going to illegally carry a gun. But think about the people who will. The criminals, the people who are criminals don't care. You can put as many laws, you can put as many whatever. They don't care. And it's the law-abiding people that are just trying to live their lives, protect their family. This is what this administration is trying to do, and disarm its citizens in areas where the police are not, the police can't protect, are not protecting them. No. I think the police here in Baltimore, you guys, are just so discouraged.
Right, of course they are.
With, all the policies down that, they put in place, and they are discouraged. And so sometimes the citizens, all they have is being able to protect themselves, and now that's going on.
Yeah, and not only that, it's not just about crime and about education where these progressive policies fail the constituents, but it's also drug policy too. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but now we have a culture where they say shaming people for drugs abuse, for doing drugs and things like that. That's an issue now.
Oh yeah. That's been an issue, and a lot of these liberals and progressives, especially a lot of these nonprofits. I had someone look to me in my face. You guys, we live these experiences. So I'm not making this up. She said, well, you don't shame somebody from having diabetes. Mm-hmm. Or, you don't shame somebody. And so why would you shame somebody for being a drug addict?
Right. Yeah. And it's not about shaming. It's a culture of making it okay. Yeah. That's the thing. And this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to remove the stigma of people being hooked on drugs. And same thing with homelessness. Now they named the new word, they don't want you using
people experiencing homelessness.
Yeah. I think it's even something else other than that.
Oh, okay.
It's I forget what it's called, but you're not supposed to refer to them as homeless. You're supposed to say, I forget the name of it. It's something ridiculous. And they're talking about it in San Francisco. A new article was just published talking about this culture of drug use, where recently in San Francisco, it says here, culture may sound like an abstract concept, but it is important for drug policy. So when you think about it, in the 60s, more than 42% of American adults smoked cigarettes. In 2021, fewer than 12% of people did. The country did not criminalize tobacco. The country put forward, although policy changes such as tax increases played a role, but the decline was caused by sustained public health campaigns that led most Americans to refuse to smoke. But now in San Francisco, they have a culture that's tolerant of people abusing and using drugs. So we have this idea where, it's okay to allow people to defecate and live on the streets. It's okay for them to do drugs. It's okay for you to people to have hookers and for women to sell their bodies, and they're trying to remove the shame of that and say that it's okay. And then we get this culture of over-sexualization, drug abuse, and it goes on from there.
Yeah, and my thing is, and I guess I want to clarify that it's not about shaming, like you said. Like, I want to make sure that I'm not saying shaming.
Right.
However, like, letting people know that there's a better life for them. Like, if the outcome was good and you were on drugs or fentanyl and crap, and you had a wonderful life and happy kids and happy wife, and, then fine. But the outcome is poor, and they're not having better lives, and they're not having increased happiness. So to push it on is a humanitarian crisis. And you guys, it's almost evil.
It is evil.
It is evil to push on to somebody, hey, you're a drug addict, and there's nothing wrong with that, even though they know intrinsically that there's something wrong with it. They're doing it even with weight. Like, you're fat, and you're overweight, but there's nothing wrong with that. Yes, intrinsically, we have to know the truth, because our lives are not better because we are on drugs. Our lives are not better because we're unhealthy. And so I believe shame or stigmas are a good thing, because it pushes you or pushes society into a direction that is good.
Yeah, absolutely. In San Francisco's changes are rooted in broader efforts to destigmatize addiction. Some experts and activists argue that a punitive, non-judgmental approach to drug use, a love the sinner, hate the sin attitude, can help people get treatment. So again, you mentioned all those things. These are things that are being pushed in the culture by leftists, by progressives. They are pushing these types of things. And it's the people who it's most affecting are children.
Yes.
Teenagers.
Yes, teenagers, children, people that have longer lives to live. You got, like, they have longer lives to suffer with drug addiction. Like, they're not pushing, they can't get me to take drugs, but they can get, my son who, is just he has a long life ahead of him, or your son. Like, you guys, this is things that when we're talking, I know it can seem like we're being emotional, but we have to take personally.
And seriously.
Seriously.
Right. This is not on the fringe. These are things that are being systemically pushed on the population through culture, through mass media, through movies, all of this. For instance, an example of this, in early 2020, advocacy groups installed billboards downtown San Francisco promoting the use of naloxone, an antidote for overdoses. It depicted happy young people enjoying a high together. The sign read, "Be careful not to overdose. Take turns with multiple people." Here, drug use was not dangerous as long as users had someone to check on them when they were high. It's the same thing they're doing with sex. Now you see these HIV ads talking about, you can live with HIV.
Yeah. Who the hell wants to live with HIV? Who wants to take a pill every single day? I mean, now they dropped down to one. You remember when we were coming up, you had to take like 50 pills.
Right.
And now they're like, you just take your good old HIV test, and then you find out, but this not over. Yeah, just take one pill a day and you can continue to have gay sex all day.
That's what they're doing. But in my day and age, when we were younger, they used to scare you to death with these people with AIDS and HIV, with the lesions all over their faces, the weight loss. You did not want to have sex, and if you did, you were going to use a condom.
Exactly. But now, like, the way that they're glad, and you guys, this is not to stigmatize people.
No, it's
who
not.
Have HIV or suffer through HIV, but I'm sure they would tell you, I would, if I had to do it again, I would not catch HIV. Who wants HIV?
No, well, not to compare to what these commercials, what this advertising culture is pushing. And not only are they doing that, but they're pushing all this sex. They're pushing unprotected sex without a spouse, without even, a committed partner or a husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend. It's free sex. All the sex all the time with no consequences. And if you catch AIDS, HIV, then you take a pill and you're fine. And what's happening right now in the DMV area, Maryland, DC, Virginia, we have one of the highest rates of HIV, AIDS, and herpes in the country. They said that this area has more HIV AIDS than sub-Saharan Africa.
Oh my God.
Population to population.
And I believe it. And it's like the fact that we are falling for like somebody is literally telling you, oh, carry around naloxone. So, if you have if you have an overdose, somebody can just bring you back to life. The fact that we even accept this from our leadership, like they are even here in Baltimore, they're doing safe injection sites.
Yeah.
So they can't build houses for people. They can't build schools.
No.
They can't do anything. But they can build a whole building and hire nurses so you can go and, hey, let me not take my drugs on the street. I'm going to walk 3 blocks to this safe injection site, do my drugs, and then if I overdose, there's a whole nurse there waiting for me. What the hell is wrong with us?
Nope. Yep, absolutely. This is the leftist progressive policies. This is what they do. This is what you're voting for.
Yeah.
This is what Biden and the demon Democrats are pushing. And look, I'm not even saying leftist anymore.
No, because
it's mainstream.
Trash.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Democrats. They sometimes people say, "Oh, don't say Democrats," because not all this Democrats. If you're voting Democrat, you're voting for this.
Yeah,
So,
it's true.
Yeah, there it is.
It's true.
All right. So moving right along, we are, almost to the end of the time, right? Oh, we do. I do want to acknowledge our super chatters. We have Kimberly here. What's that?
Thank you.
Yes. She says, "You ladies are awesome. Thank you for the hard work. God bless the USA." Yes. And God bless you for watching. Amen. Thank you for sticking out with us.
Amen.
Kimberly. We also have Evie. She says, "Oh, thank you.
Girlie.
Thank you so much." All right. So, and we have Steven. He says, WTF is wrong with the world. Absolutely. I know.
The same question.
Oh, Ruth. Oh my gosh. She says, "Thank you for all you do. We appreciate you." Thank you so much, Ruth. Oh my gosh, Krista.
Hey, Krista.
Hey, long time no see. She says, "I am so ashamed. I used to believe all that crap."
Me too.
Yeah. No,
Me
don't.
too.
Yes, don't feel ashamed.
We're both recovering
Democrats, right? We were I was Democrats for probably most of my life.
Me too.
And we've talked about this on the show. We got to do another show. We talk about how we became conservative. One day you just continue to realize the lies. We were Democrats. We were Democrats.
Die hard.
Right.
I mean, I used to knock on doors, go to different cities, like Democrat, like I was just fiercely.
Right.
And I made a promise to myself that when I became a conservative, that I was not going to allow anybody to scare me into, I'm going to be as loud and as proud as I was as a Democrat.
Right. And Mark Slater, we want to thank you so much.
Thank you.
He says, "Love you all. Keep preaching the truth."
Thank
Absolutely. You. And it's just as Crystal was saying. Yeah. I mean, when I was a loud and proud Democrat too. And, I campaigned for Democrats and things like that. Nobody said we were, "Oh, you're too loud," or nobody said that. You could talk in family functions about it. Now we're piranhas.
Exactly. And it's so weird. It's so weird how that worked because they be trying me. Like sometimes my family be trying, but my family is coming along because they know. Let me tell you something. One thing I can tell you about my family, shout out to them, is they might be Democrats, but they love truth. Oh, okay. And they're not gonna stay listening to this crap but for so long, right? Yeah. Until they slowly start to become conservative.
Yeah, hopefully and prayerfully that is the case. Prayerfully that is the case. But as we said on here, our mantra for 2024 is be aware and prepare. Yep. And so we are at the point now, we are no longer trying to necessarily sway people. We're going to put the truth out there, and we want patriots and people who may be on the line to be prepared. Yeah, so you cannot say that we were not telling you what was going on. We just ran through a list of progressive push policies and initiatives that are killing us, literally. Yeah. I want to shout out Sonia.
Yes, Sonia. I follow her on Instagram, y'all. Go follow her on Instagram. She be spitting real truth.
Okay, yes, Sonia. What she say here? I can't see it. Okay.
She said, I would love to hear your walk away stories.
Oh, okay. Yes.
We got to do that.
We do. We have to do that. We're going to do that. We're almost to the end of the show. I want to go through some of this other stuff before we head out here. So we're talking, people have said something about us talking about Black women. First I want to say, before we get into our next segment, because we are, for lack of a better word, about to go in on these Black heifers. I want to say that we love Black people.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We are Black women. We live in a majority Black city. We love Black people. But we're tired.
We tired, y'all.
We're tired.
We tired.
We are tired.
Yeah. We got to do better. It's embarrassing at this point.
It is. It is very embarrassing. And no matter your color, we're not going to stand for nonsense. Yeah. We're not.
And the real brown skins, y'all know who y'all are. Y'all know it too. We talk about it we talk about it at work. Like, these folks are out of control.
Out of control. It's out of control. You're out of control. You're out of order. You're out of order. As what's her name? Not Trina, but the other girl would say. Somebody help me. You're out of order, and you need to be corrected. If I had a gavel, I would hit it. You're out of order. Yeah. So speaking of that, we want to talk about Black girl magic. Take a look at this. This is clip number 5.
I believe that every Black woman on this planet should be entitled to financial compensation just for existence on this earth in this society. And though I could go down my laundry list of reasons and likely convince you to and show you why I believe that, I'm not going to. You'll understand when you do. Toodles!
Okay.
Y'all,
I'm
embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. Yeah. I'm embarrassed. I don't even know what to say. Yeah. Like, okay, when I say I love Black women, not that, okay? No. Those are the ignorant Black women. I cannot stand ignorant Blacks. I can't stand ignorant whites. Okay. I can't stand ignorant, like those types of people. No, they don't count.
Absolutely not. And and these two, Cori Bush, talking about ignorant. Cori Bush, she is the representative in Congress for Missouri, I believe. Over the course of what is approaching 4 years, she's a squad member. She's a proponent of defunding the police. This is according to the Washington Examiner. She has spent north of $750,000 from her campaign committee on security services.
That's about right.
She loves security so much, she married her head of security that was detailing her. She married the man. So now these staggering payments are at the heart of a Justice Department investigation into whether Bush, who also used $1,400 combined in 2021 from her taxpayer-backed congressional stipend for personal security, may have criminally misused certain funds. Legal experts, as well as a watchdog group, long dissatisfied with the government for purportedly not enforcing regulations, Bush appears to have violated federal law by funneling at least $100,000 to Courtney Merritt's. Who is Courtney Merritt's? He's the Democrat security guard who she married last year.
See, this is the Black girl magic. This is the Black girl magic y'all talking about. And you see it everywhere you go. Right. Like, if y'all, first of all, if y'all think Trump is going to be the only one getting investigated, you done lost your mind. Like, he not going to be the only one with investigations in 2024. So you come for him. Just know that Fannie going down, Cori Bush going down. Everybody about to go down. Period. I'm waiting for it on Letitia James. Watch.
Oh, I hope so.
Watch. It's gonna come because you cannot come with your black self. And that's all you come with. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
the attitude
right.
and the attitude. And mind you, you guys, I already know that some people think that, you know, I'm a little too much. But at the end of the day, with your personality and all, you still have to perform. Meaning you can't be doing this type of crap like spending your hard-earned taxpayer dollars.
Money, yeah.
And you can't be like, and if you are going to do it, okay, if you are going to do it, perform. Make your city better. Improve your schools. Maybe we might look away if things around you are improving and getting better, but it's not. You messy. You messy.
Messy. And speaking of messy, the Harvard DEI leader. So Harvard University, they've been in the headlines. This isn't Miss Gay, the president who just resigned. This is the DEI head, committed multiple instances of plagiarism throughout her academic career, even plagiarizing from one of her husband's academic works. This has been all over the news. The Free Beacon added, and in her sole peer-reviewed journal article, co-authored with her husband, LeVar Charleston, in 2014, the couple recycled much of a 2012 study published by LeVar Charleston, the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Diversity and Inclusion at the University of Wisconsin. So, I mean, you plagiarizing at Harvard? I mean, this is ridiculous.
It's a mess, you guys. I mean, seriously. Okay, the problem for me, honest to God, is that I despise affirmative action so bad. I actually did a video on it on my Red Pill Brown Girl, like about affirmative action, because it almost sets black people up. Because I'm all for it. Like, if you brown and you smart, which a lot of us are, and you bright, then go for it. Like, go ahead and get yours. But what happens is that you're setting these people up that are brown that still have to perform. And then when they don't perform, like a Cori Bush, girlfriend, nobody want to even walk down your street. You see, you don't want to walk down your street in city without your security guard that you married. Like, so when you're doing that and you're not performing, then you feel like, oh, well, when people start to hold you accountable, they're like, oh, well, you know, you're just targeting me because I'm black. No, we bought you in because you were supposed to bring some diversity and some color and some different thought. You weren't supposed to bring all this mess.
Right, exactly. But these are the people that Black America, urban America, put up on a pedestal, and they make like these are the kings and queens of our community, and they're doing nonsense.
No.
They're doing nonsense. And then when you have someone who's actually doing the work, actually has put in the time and the muster to do something, they don't give him any of his credit. Talking about Armstrong Williams. So here in Baltimore, in Maryland, conservative commentator and entrepreneur Armstrong Williams just bought the Baltimore Sun newspaper.
Aye!
So congratulations to him. He is
Shout out!
Yes, he's a black man, a conservative commentator. He, along with David Smith, bought the Baltimore Sun. That is huge. The Baltimore Sun is a huge newspaper here in Baltimore, but not only just Baltimore, it's national newspaper. And he partnered with David Smith and bought it. But no, do people, talk about that? No, all they talk about is David Smith, because David Smith also owns Sinclair Broadcasting.
And I saw something that was so funny because they were so distraught that he had bought Sinclair Broadcasting that they actually attacked him because he's responsible for the propaganda of Fox 45 City in Crisis. What? Yes, that's what they said on MSNBC. Go watch it. They said, oh, he is responsible for programs that that basically give propaganda called City in Crisis on Fox 45. We are a city in crisis.
Yes, exactly.
That ain't. I could tell you because we live here.
Yeah.
It's a city in crisis.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And they have broken so many stories that brought light and shed light on the corruption within Baltimore City. They should be thanking them for what they did. They not only brought highlighted what was going on in Baltimore City schools where they were passing these students
That couldn't read,
couldn't write. They also brought highlighted or uncovered a rapist going to school at one of the high schools here. They've uncovered so many stories and
Safe
scandals. Safe Streets. I mean, they are the only news station here out of multiple news stations that actually holds these politicians to account.
exactly.
And because they do it in a predominantly black city, in a city run by Democrats, they are pushing propaganda.
Yeah, and
It's terrible.
And it's so sad because I mean, I even hear the brown skinned people that live here, like when President Trump said, you know, Baltimore has a lot of problems. No human being will want to live here. Like, we're getting upset instead of we saying, hey, okay, this is our reality, but it doesn't have to be this way. Let's change it. You're getting upset and arguing that people want you to live better, want Baltimore to be better.
Right.
Like this, if you want to be truth, this is the humanitarian crisis.
Absolutely.
The fact that we're having murders and rapes and our kids are going to school for 8 hours a day for 12 years and coming out and can't read.
Absolutely. And then the numbers don't lie. A report just recently came out talking about the largest amount of shrinking cities
Yes.
within the country. Guess what's at the top of the list? Baltimore. Exactly. Baltimore is losing population. People are leaving the city. It's shrinking so much so that they're saying within the next several years, you may not have a city. The city may become defunct because the tax base or the working class, the people that actually have money, are leaving in droves, and they don't have anything to continue to keep the city going.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I think that that's by design. Like a lot of times when I grew up in New York, so I seen people say that about Brooklyn. Like, and where I grew up, I mean, no human being wanted to live there. I remember my mom was saying that they asked her to buy a house there. She was like, I ain't buying no house now. She wishes she had bought a house.
What happened to Giuliani, though?
Exactly. Yeah.
Giuliani turned the city around.
Yes. So
But now it's going down again.
Exactly. So, my hopes is that Baltimore would turn around, but I mean, it's not going to turn around when people are literally defending the nightmare that the city has become. Like, my city, like they talking about the game. Like, I mean, like people are dying, people are overdosing. You walk past and I'm telling you, you get the lean of your life. Let me tell you, they never fall.
Yeah.
Hold on. They never fall.
Yeah.
And that's a normal.
Philadelphia, it's the same thing.
Yeah, that's a normal thing when you're walking around here, and you're proud of what?
Yeah. Proud of what? Right. Exactly. And I'm not to say that there aren't some glimmers of hope and people here doing what they need to do, but it's very far and few in between.
Yeah.
And instead of them trying to do better, and we have here, like I said, Armstrong Williams, these Democrats and mainstream media focus on the Cori Bushes and things like that.
Or focus on safe injection sites,
Right.
and not stigmatizing being a fentanyl user.
Right. And a whore.
Yeah.
So, this is crazy. But this is, we wanted to spotlight that. Congratulations to them.
We care.
Yeah.
We care because we want truth. And
Right.
so if you're going to bring it, sir. I know you are. Go ahead, black man.
It's so needed. I mean, there are so many people here. In 2020, I believe Baltimore had the most black Republicans running anywhere in the country. And I worked with several of these people running for office. They couldn't even get any media time. The Baltimore Sun failed. They don't want to, we would send them out to talk to them, to write pieces. We'd write op-eds. They won't even publish half the stuff. It's so biased. The mainstream media, other than Fox, But all of these local news stations are leftist, and they won't even give a conservative the time of day.
Yeah, but conservatives also, I think that Elon Musk paved the way. Like, we have the money, we have the resources, and now we need to start being strategic about creating our own media, backing organizations like Poppin' Politics, and supporting us means so much, you guys, because our voices are getting into the crux and the crevices, and your voices. Like, don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Do not skip dinners. Do not skip, parties, and be your conservative self, because you'd be surprised. It's going to change a lot of the people around you.
Absolutely. And speaking of supporting conservatives, Crystal, you have a book coming out.
I do.
Yes. Can you tell us about it? Yeah.
Okay, so it's a free ebook, you guys, and I'm so grateful that KJ brought it up. And if you sign up, www.redpilledbrowngirl.com, you will sign up for the free ebook, and it basically is telling my journey and through abortions and how I was lied to, and it talks about the lies that you tell people and you don't really understand. You think that it's just a clump of cells that you're getting rid of, and how abortion, and you don't really understand how abortion not just affects the woman, but it affects the community, affects everything around her. And it's called The Lies They Tell, because honestly, I think less people would be fighting this abortion thing if they knew that it cost them their lives.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, I want to end on tonight just talking about these 6 pro-life activists on trial in Nashville, Tennessee. So again, 6 pro-life activists are on trial in Nashville, Tennessee, facing federal charges related to a 2021 blockade of a nearby abortion clinic. So it occurred on March 5th, 2021. Video posted on Facebook showed a large group of pro-life activists ranging from elderly to young children walking into an abortion clinic and blocking access to the door by sitting in front of it. What were they doing? Singing Christian hymns and praying. So now they are on trial, the trial of their life. The federal government announced in October 2022 that it had charged 11 of the individuals under the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, the FACE Act, which is the same law that pro-life father of 7, Mark Hawk, was charged and acquitted under earlier this year. It prohibits violent, threatening, damaging, and obstructive conduct intended to injure, intimidate, or interfere with the right to seek, obtain, or provide reproductive health services. So, this is something that I think is way overboard. I mean, we're seeing these people, put in trial. We're also saw, of course, the J6 people put on trial for this. And we're just not seeing an even-handed of the law.
Yeah.
And so our hearts, our prayers go out to these people, and I hope that that God sees them through this and that they are able to get off.
Yeah. And with that abortion thing, you guys, don't believe the lies. Like, you think that it's one individual, one baby, a woman's right to choose, but there is something that happens when you kill off innocent blood that is within the womb, and we wonder why we're sick. We wonder why we're in poverty. I mean, like, Black people are responsible for over 50% of all abortions. Well, you would think that you would make the connection. What are Black people doing differently? Are we going to work every single day? Yes. Are we, feeding our family just like everybody else? Then what are we doing differently? Could it be that we're sowing death and destruction into our futures by throwing away or healthcare? Abortion is healthcare, and getting rid of these clump of cells. No, that is a baby. The Bible says, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but we talk about safe streets. We talk about border. We talk about being safe within our homes, in our neighborhoods. what kind of community, what kind of country, what kind of world is it where you can't even be safe in your mother's womb? What kind of country is that? When we cannot even protect our most vulnerable?
Yeah.
So, I fully agree that this is another thing that is not talked about. The education is not there, and we're automatically pushed to abort. When there are other situations, and even before you get pregnant, we're pushed. We were talking about in the beginning of the program to, have unprotected sex, have sex before marriage. We're pushed to do that. And then when, of course, the automatic result is a baby comes about, we're pushed then to kill it.
Yeah.
So, the reprogramming from top to bottom needs to be done. And these people, pro-life activists, I believe, are one of the most courageous groups of people that are out there, and most of them are faith-based people.
Yeah.
And they don't even get the support that they should get from the church.
Yeah.
All they're doing many times is praying for these people, and the church does not even support them like they should.
Yeah.
So we want to continue to lift these people up this 11 in prayer.
Yes.
We're thinking of you. We see what you're doing, and our hearts and prayers go out to you.
Absolutely. And that's who we need to put our money behind, you guys. I'm telling you, getting the word out. These girls are entering these abortion clinics, and people are telling them that it's okay, it's not a big deal, and the repercussions of it are just mass.
Absolutely. All right. So that does it for tonight. For our show. Again, thank you so much for watching. We're missing several of our ladies. So
we had a good time.
Yes, we did. We did. We hope we held it down for you guys.
I know.
We usually have a packed house, but again,
They'll
we got,
be back.
Yes, some illness and things going on, but they will be back next Wednesday. So be sure to tune in, like, share, and subscribe to this broadcast, Pop in Politics. We're live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Sometimes we pop up on Fridays or Saturdays.
Yeah.
So in order to know when we pop up, you got to hit the notification bell, and you must subscribe. Share this broadcast in a DM. Share it on your social media timeline, Twitter, Facebook. Share the link in your Instagram stories, and subscribe. We are a family. We're a close-knit. We're here. We love America, and we want to see our country thrive.
Absolutely.
Again, our mantra for 2024 is be aware and prepare.
Yep.
All right. So that does it for us. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.